Alrighty, g'day, Stu here from UAVfutures. Welcome to our weekly live stream. Happy flying. This is where we talk all things FPV wherever you are around the world. Do me a favor, first we're going to do a mic check. That's how we start everything. Then we've got a whole bunch of drone stuff to talk about today. Shout out to all my members and patrons. I can see you all in the chat. I think Johnny DRC was the first one in here bright and early. Even sent me an email saying, hey Stu, is the stream on? But here we are, and there's some cool stuff to talk about today, and also some other things which are a little bit different. So first, we're going to do a bit of a check-in. I do want to talk some stuff about DJI. We are going to be talking about the Avata 360, which is like just around the corner. There's already some videos out about it. I want to talk about some things that I used to not like about Betaflight, but it looks like they've fixed that with the Betaflight web app. We're going to be talking about that. I want to do a bit of a deep dive breakdown on which goggles should I get. So if you're getting into FPV, this is going to be a bit of an overview of all the systems. What goggles would I get today? Who they're for, their pros, their cons, what's good about them, some of the weaknesses, because there is no correct single right answer when it comes to choosing the goggles. No goggle is better than any others at everything. Each one has a specific strength and also some weaknesses that come along with that. I want to give a huge shout out to my members. I'm going to be doing something special for them, a bit of a members only question and answer video, which we'll be doing together today. I want to talk about some drones from Oxbot, and then also talk about flying around this if we get time, answering some of your questions. And I flew this just the other day. That was my latest video. I think that went out a couple of days ago. That was crazy. It was like, dare I say, it was such a rush to fly something so relaxing and calming at 5 a.m. in the morning. I can see Donnie, the legend, as well. Donnie FPV, thank you very much for your super chat there, brother. Someone's asking me, do I have the Avata 360? No, I don't. Happy fly. We'll talk about that just in a little bit. But also, if you haven't checked out Donnie's channel, go check that out. He's been in the drone game for a long time, and he's come such a long way from the very first video I ever saw of his to where he is today. He makes some really cool stuff, and I think FPV, he would agree, is such a positive catalyst in our lives. He's saying, hit the thumb button. Thank you so much to everybody who is in here. So let's kick it off. And I don't expect this goal to be fulfilled, but I'm going to keep putting it up here until we eventually get there, because I don't know how YouTube works with these things, but maybe there is a little goal somewhere. I don't know what it's like if you're actually viewing this. There is like a goal for some HD0 box goggles, because I want to give you guys the right information. HD0 is not, like, they are designed first and foremost for racers. It is not the system that I choose to fly with. I fly around usually with my DJI gear if I'm just flying for fun. But I want to get a pair of those goggles so I can review them and find out, hey, give you some actual information about them in terms of like latency and screen, because they look like a great pair of goggles. I just don't actually have a set. And currently I'm feeding my HD0 into my sky zones, and now people are talking about latency, which doesn't do HD0 justice because they're all about latency. So that is a goal somewhere that you're probably going to see a recurring goal here on my streams. Alrighty, Donnie's linked his stream there as well. But let's do it. We got Roger popping in the chat. Excuse me, I do have a little bit of a cold. But first and foremost, let's kick it off. Topic number one, that is you guys. I know we are going to talk about FPV drones in just a little bit, but hear me out, because this is important. This is why I do this after 10 years, and this is why we start our stream week in, week out. Wherever you are around the world, let me know where you're watching, but the most important thing in FPV, it is the community. It is you guys, and we all deserve to live happy and healthy lives, and FPV has such a positive impact, which is why I like talking about FPV, which is why I can still do this 10 years after my first flight, maybe like going on a long time. I'm an old man, but FPV, it is such a life-changing experience, and I'm so grateful for everything that it has done for me. And I've been in the past in some not great mental health places. Thankfully, I'm much better now. But when my second child was born, I went through some really tough times, and the community here was amazing. But I have never forgotten what that was like. And I always take the time out at the start of this stream, and let me know if you think that this is important, but just to say to you that you are valued, you are cared about, and I'm so grateful that you are here. I truly am. Thank you. You are unique, and you are always welcome in this FPV space, and you deserve to feel good. You are a good person. You are not alone. You are seen. You are heard. If you have sent me an email, you know who you are. Thank you. I am so grateful that you are here, and I'm proud of you. You are not alone. Even though I'm on the other side of the planet, you are part of this community. And if you are listening to this and you haven't been feeling the best, somebody probably hasn't said to you, and you haven't said this to yourself, that you are worth it, and you really are. Yeah, you're like, is he talking? Yes. Have you said that you are worth it? Because you are. And I'm so grateful that you are here. And if you are hearing it, that means it's for you. So that's going out there. I just want to say thank you. You are worth it. You are worth it. You are seen. You are heard. You are valued. You are cared about. And you are not alone. You are part of this amazing community. Even though I'm over here down under in the outbacks of Australia here on the other side of the planet to where a lot of you are worth it. And thank you for being here. Looks like Donnie got a sub there. Donnie saying Stu and his community helped me and helped me quit the cigarettes too. Well done there. We've got Shoot FPV. Good morning to everybody in the community. Let's start with our first topic today. We're going to talk about the DJI stuff, and we're going to talk about the DJI Avata 360. So if you have seen any videos popping up recently, and I do have to give a shout out to Mads Tech for this one because I feel like he has a review coming that he can't talk about, but DJI might have mucked up some of the releases. People have been asking me if I have an Avata 360. No, I don't do any work with DJI. They don't like to work with me in the slightest. I've said some critiques about them in the past, even though they are the system that I fly. Some companies get a little bit antsy about some things you say, which is fair enough, whatever, but I don't think I'll be reviewing that drone. I did review the anti-gravity 360, and this looks like a bit of the biggest comparison between the two. So let me jump over here. Hopefully my computer doesn't break. Where are we? So we have this right here. So this is from Drone XL, and look, this is the most I've watched a few videos on this, and also it looked like, I should say what I was going to say about Mads Tech. It looks like he has one, but because of the way that DJI is structuring their reviews or releases the videos, he can't talk about it, which I must say, that would be extremely frustrating to feel like a second class channel where you get a product and you're like, wait, let these other ones go first and then you can go. That's, I don't know. It's hard enough to make a living on YouTube, and if you have to be on a different time schedule to a lot of other channels, that's not a good thing. It sort of cuts down the revenue which you will get from that video, probably like 80%, I think. All right, but let's talk about this right here. So we've got some leaked pricing about this, and I've seen some flight videos about this as well. Looks like we've got a lot of tags here with the anti-gravity A1, but the best breakdown I have seen of this, and a bit of a summary, is that this craft flies a little bit like a Cinewoop, but it is different to the anti-gravity A1 in terms of what you can actually get out of the camera. And the best thing that I heard somebody say was, this is better in every single way. Each one of these crafts is going to do different things. They fly differently, and it does have a significantly cheaper price point though. We've got some speculations down here as well when it comes to, I want to talk about, what's this drone? Mario Mini. Anyway, right here. So I think in the US, maybe under $1,000 if you'll be able to get some certain combos, but it looks relatively cheap, and it is going to be cheaper than the anti-gravity A1. So if you took the best kit that you get with the anti-gravity A1 and the best kit that is being offered for the Avata 360, it's going to be a lot cheaper. It looks like with the goggles, the N3, they're a far cheaper goggle than the anti-gravities. What are they called? I think they're just called the anti-gravity A1 goggles. The anti-gravity A1 goggles are the best goggles, I think, in FPV, which is wild because it's not really for an FPV craft. They are like very, very high-tech goggles. The N3, not so much. And if we scroll down, where's the USA pricing? Now, I don't know how this is going to go. Sorry about this website. It's covered in ads. But, and I don't know if this is going to be with tariffs or whatnot, what's going to happen here, what extra taxes are going to be put on there. A premium combo, $1,000 to $1,300. If anybody's in the States, can you Google this on Amazon and see if there is any listings for the Avata 360, please? I would like to know. Do we have a breakdown here, or is this just the old drones? Ads, yeah. Look, I don't think it's going to do anything revolutionary that we haven't already seen. It's not going to be for us FPV pilots. It's going to be for people who want to. It's an interesting move between DJI where they are now moving to a place, and let me know if you think this is the right place, where flying is not just about getting the perfect shot. It's also about the actual flight experience as well. What can you see when you're looking around, which is something that I think the Anti-Gravity A1 did a fantastic job at. Things with like their augmented reality, and you can look around. It really felt like you were in the craft. We're getting a little bit closer here. Anything that makes somebody enjoy flying rather than just looking at a video and taking in the scenery, that actual flying experience, it's like a gateway to getting a real drone, putting some air quotes right there. Somebody's saying no listings yet, and nothing yet over there in the States. So I would be very interested in the price. Even if it starts, I don't know when it's going to sell as well. I don't know how like the DJI stock is in the USA. That's something else that we're going to need to talk about. I still can't see any 04 Pros. Nope. Ronnie's saying just the Avata 2 on Amazon US. No Avata 360. Yeah. Well, and I don't know what the release date is as well. Does anybody know what the actual official release date is? I don't have any contacts at DJI at all anymore. So that would be interesting. Looks like Johnny RC is getting ads. I think it's on normal. Let me know, is there a lot of ads here? If you keep refreshing the page, maybe you'll start getting ads. You should only really get one ad, I believe, when you tune into the stream off the bat. But yeah, Avata 360, it looks cool. I am not opposed to anybody, any product that is going to get people flying and starting their FPV journey and their aviation journey. You might get that and be like, wow, this is great. Then they move into getting like maybe a little Whoop drone. And then before you know it, they've got like a whole bunch of high-end goggles ripping around. They're going to their local race events with a HD0 goggles and trying to put some laps down. That's what it's all about. That's what FPV is all about. March 26th, that's what someone said. Okay, about 10 days. Anthony says, I use DJI to just float around after a day of analog. Yeah, there's nothing, like, it is still really cool to see flying aircraft. I think it's something that it's all about getting them flying. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about, and let me know if you've got any questions, please throw them in the chat. But this was kind of a very pleasant surprise, and one of the things that I really don't like about the Betaflight. So if you're getting into FPV, one of the big things you need is Betaflight. You're going to need to learn a lot about it. There's a lot of things that you need to set up, and often when you go to try and find the web page, this used to annoy me because you would have to download a specific, you'd go to, what is it, like wherever the repo is where they're holding everything. And you can let me know this in the chat. Why there was always like a whole bunch of different versions and APK files. And all I ever wanted was like, just give me the latest version, please, that I can install on Windows, which is probably 90% of our community. I like to keep it simple, but I always found it a little bit frustrating trying to update my Betaflight. And then if you download a new version or you want to go back and find an old version, it was just never a good time for me. Thankfully, and this has come full circle, there is now a web app, which is so great. We can just direct people straight to that. So I have it linked in the description of this video right here. This is amazing. Anything that keeps it simple is an absolute must. So we're going to jump over here. And this is what it's going to look like. So we've got our web app right here. So it's just app.betaflight.com. And this came in handy the other day because I needed to do some stuff with this drone right here, which I will talk about in just a little bit. But if you're getting into the hobby, this is where I think you can still get a standalone offline version if you want that. But just being able to go here, I've been using this more than my dedicated program that's on my computer. I don't have to worry about updates. I don't have to worry about anything. I just simply go here. And this is how we used to actually use Betaflight back in the day when it was a web Chrome plugin app. I don't even know if Chrome still has plugin apps, but it used to be like this, and we've sort of come full circle. Let's see. And then what I want to talk about, I'm going to connect it up in just a second because this drone right here, this is the droner. We're going to use our Betaflight app to change something because this is going to help somebody. When I got this, it was a plug and play version, so I had to put my own receiver in here. I took it apart, and no matter what I did, I could not get my receiver to talk to the flight controller. I wasn't sure what was going on. I put it on the correct ports. I selected the correct, like the UARTs were correct, and trying to select the correct protocol. Nothing was actually working, and I couldn't figure out why, because this is a plug and play version. So this might help some people out there. But when I plug this into Betaflight, this is what we get. So we're going to do this now together. I've got my little USB, bear with me. All right. So I've plugged it in. You notice we've changed this here. We're going to stay away from update firmware just now. And we're going to click connect. All right, so my drone is actually upside down, but let's ignore that. When I came over here to my receiver, this part was actually on S-Bus. And because I was using my standard version, my standalone version, which did not have these all grayed out, when I selected S, which is what it was on S-Bus, it was fine. When I selected Crossfire, which is just here, all these bars disappeared. And I saw this as another post the other day as well of like, hey, when I come to choose my serial provider, which is how mine is set up, look, if we go over here and we have a look at the ports tab, here I've got under serial RX on UART2, this is where it's all connected. Jumping over here, I would go to select Crossfire and I would actually get nothing when it came up. And I wasn't sure what was going on. And this is the first time that I've actually had to deal with this because I'm so used to using ELRS, usually just works out of the box. But when I would select this, I didn't get any response from these. And the reason is because you need to actually reflash the firmware for the correct serial provider. So if we jump over here to update firmware, and what I did was, look, I really do like how easy this is. I'm able to detect the board. And then when it comes to the radio protocol, this is where you select which one you want to use. So if you are having some problems and it feels like you have done everything in this should be working, the reason is because the board needs to be reflashed so it can use the proper protocol of your radio. So this caught me out a little bit, but here we are. So anyway, I loaded the new firmware on. I actually did a dump of all the settings so we could go and put it back in. I thought it was a bit of a problem from the provider and from the vendor. I gave them some feedback on this drone of, hey, if this is a plug and play version, we should be able to use, we shouldn't be using S-Bus, we should be using Crossfire, or it should be using the ELRS, which is the Crossfire selection just here. But yeah, that is a little tip for anybody out there. If you are struggling and it feels like you've done the correct UARTs, you have done the serial provider, you have done everything correct in your setup, you may need to reflash your board way back here when you're updating the firmware to choose the correct protocol provider. I think that's what it's called. Let me have a look. Why is this not detecting now? Connect. Failed to open serial port. Here we go. Nothing like demoing things. I'm sure we can get there though, with a bit of a plug and replug. You get the idea. This is drones that some things seem to go wrong. And that's one of the biggest problems, I think, with our hobby. And let me know if this is true for you. I've been doing this for 10 years. I have seen almost every problem that you can experience when it comes to building drones, flying drones, setting things up, configuring them. I've been doing this a lot and I get a lot of new drones. So I go through an awful lot of like, okay, it is one of the big problems with being a review channel is the constant setup. There are so many hours per week that I need to spend setting a drone up, making sure it's working. I've seen all the issues and it is not easy. It is getting easier, but for a newcomer coming in, let's pretend they got this drone, they'll be following some guides and they don't see that one little option that's like, hey, maybe we need to change this. So that's having a dedicated Betaflight app, however, is one step closer to just sort of streamlining everything. Let me just unplug this. All right. As far as the drones themselves, the actual droner, that's what this is called. It felt heavy, scary, loud, and you can just tell from the shape and size of this thing, It sounds impressive, but it's not going to be the fastest drone. It's quite a chunky boy that we've got right here. But we'll have this coming out soon. I just got to remember that I put it there underneath the desk. Okay, Johnny DRC says, I used to have Clean Flight on my computer. He remembers flying brush quads. Yes, brush quads were pretty fun, but they still are. They still can be a lot of fun. Let me know what you're flying as well. What was your first drone on? I think I tried to set mine up on a CC3D with Open Pilot, and then we went to Base Flight, then we went to Clean Flight, then we went to Betaflight. What's the weight? I can actually, let's have a look. The weight of the droner. It's the X01. I bet you they don't put it on here because it's probably not a good selling point. I want to say 600 grams. It's all about DJI. It's just about the batteries. Oh my gosh. No, it doesn't tell us the weight. I think 600 grams, if I had to guess. The looks are kind of growing on me. Yeah, it does look like a cool drone. It's just, where are we? And it is much more user-friendly in terms of looks. There's no wires hanging out anywhere. It's a pretty self-contained, tidy little package. It's just not going to offer the flight experience that a hobbyist or a purist is going to be looking for. Johnny DRC says you should hear my 7-inch quads. They sound incredible. Yeah, it's loud. It's very, very loud, and probably not terribly efficient either. Alrighty. Now, there are some things I'm looking over here. I want to talk about the Oxbot drone, a bit of relaxed flying. We can talk about DJI stock levels, and then I also want to do a bit of a deep dive on which goggles that we should get. But and also there hasn't been too many drone products that have turned up this week, so it's been a relatively slow week. The only thing that looks like it's on the horizon is the DJI Avata 360. So there's nothing terribly new that is, at least that I know of, that has released. But do you think we're likely to get fair laws that allow FPV flight? It depends what country you're talking about there, Stones 886. In terms, the best advice that I can give you, if you're worried about laws and regulations, the people to talk about are the flying clubs in your specific country or region. So contact them. I know for us, it's the FPV Rebels here in Brisbane. And if you would like to find some people to fly with, of course, you can always head over to this map right here. So this is on DIY FPV, and the laws and regulations about whatever country you're going to be flying in, you're probably going to find some people who have some contacts. You can send them a message on here. We've got over 10,000 users on DIY FPV, and go to those race events. Talk to them. In terms of fair laws, it depends fair for what. The best advice that I can also give is, if you are flying around, stay away from people, stay away from public property. And if you were just flying by yourself in the sticks with no one around, nobody is really going to track you down and bother you. If you're posting some really dumb flight footage online, well, then somebody might knock on your door. But for most users, I would say that the law probably has bigger things to worry about. And that's just how I feel, I guess, in the situation that I have dealt with law enforcement. Every single time that I have dealt with police or anything like that, they have been like, this is really cool. What does this drone do? How high can that go? Like, how fast can that go? And a lot of times the answer is like, wait, do you mean legally? And the policeman was like, no, I don't care about that. Just how fast can this? Like, they just wanted to see it as a cool piece of tech. But I wasn't flying around people. I wasn't flying around crowded places. So drones, they are used for some pretty scary things nowadays. Just fly safe, fly smart, don't endanger people. I saw a post on Reddit the other day where I gave some advice. They almost hit a car. And I was like, look, this is really stupid. You shouldn't be flying like this. And they tried to defend their actions. Like, look, just take the loss here and admit that you were wrong. And then in the future, you're going to have a great time. Just don't fly around like this where you can hurt other people. Do stupid things, win stupid prizes. That's what somebody else says as well. So yeah, as a bit of a recap, if you are starting FPV and you're worried about laws and regulations, go over to DIY FPV, have a look at the map feature, send some pilots there a message, or have a search on Facebook as well. Go and join those local clubs. They will be really dialed in. And if it is an official club, they will probably have some sort of mandates when it comes to insurance, or they will know the laws and regulations to be registered and all those sorts of things. That's how it is. And if you were just flying privately by yourself, maybe you're on private property, or maybe you're going out into the forest or the woods or some big open fields, maybe as long as you're not hassling people, I don't really see too many people getting upset about it. Of course, the official answer is follow all local laws, rules, and regulations. But the real answer is probably just use common sense. Johnny DRC says he's flown with the police a couple of times. Yeah, and I should also say, I think law enforcement does a great job I have some friends in law enforcement, and some of those people are the most compassionate people I know, and they are dealing with so much terrible stuff in the community that somebody flying a drone and having fun with their kids in the park, they're like, they could not care any less about that. That's not their priority and things. They have to really take care of that. I mean, officially, maybe they have to do something about it, but their day is taken up with a lot more serious things that a lot of them have the same feelings as you do of like, man, I personally have no problem that you're flying. It's just maybe what the books say, or maybe what this is what I have to follow the law. So I have to say, hey, don't fly here or something. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents on that. I don't want to get too political here. Let me know too, when have you upset anybody? Has somebody ever come up to you and been really, really upset about what were you doing? And what was the situation that you were flying? I've yet to upset anybody. This is from Popples. I mostly fly at parks early mornings when there are very few people around. Yeah, I think maybe you might upset some dog walkers if their dog can't be controlled, but then that's catch-22. They should have control of their dog as well. I think the only people we have ever upset, and I apologize because I was in the wrong, going back probably about 8 years ago, we had a place called the UAVfutures test track where we went week after week after week. Like, we were there every single weekend. It was a very quiet park where you hardly ever saw a single other person there except for a bunch of FPV pilots. And we would do 100 batteries maybe a weekend, or like I would bring 100 packs and just scream around this track. And they probably got sick of that noise week after week after week after week. So I did hear some complaints where they came over and spoke to some of the people who were flying. I was never there when that happened. But I would say, yeah, that's a legitimate noise complaint of like, okay, yeah, I'm getting a little bit sick of this. I mostly upset birds, or at least they're getting really angry, it seems sometimes. In the US, go to Ryan someone for our FAA rules. Yeah, and that's what makes it hard too. There's so many different rules, laws, and regulations. Some countries, they're completely banned. Other places, just, here's a little story. I have been flying in Hong Kong, where laws are a little bit interesting, and without saying too many names, because I don't want to get anybody in trouble, the people we were flying with were flying from Hong Kong into mainland China, which is probably borderline not supposed to do. And the cops did turn up, but they were there for some sort of training exercise where we were. But we very quietly just brought our little craft back in. I'll say maybe I was just watching. And then we vacated that area relatively without any fuss or any issues. So yeah, just don't annoy people. And we weren't even near people when we were actually flying. It was a very, like the side of a mountain basically where we were flying from. But you don't want to push your luck as well. Just fly with some common sense. Happy Flight RC says, I'm guilty of unknowingly upsetting some people. One guy wanted to fight and I was just about to set the transmitter down to fight, and then he just backed off and then left. He was on something. Yeah, some people, if they're not in their right mind, are going to have some issues. The best way, I think, to solve those, if somebody is in the right state of mind and they're upset, is just to talk to them about it. Maybe hey, I'll take you for a flight. A lot of people don't understand what our FPV crafts can do and how fun they are. When you take them and you share that experience, it will often change their tune very quickly. Anybody that I've ever shared a goggle flight with, it is, you know what it was like on your first flight. It's just amazing. So, yeah. All right. Now, this one's for you guys, actually, because I want to do a members or Patreon only video. So I can shout out to all my members here. Anybody you see with a green name here in chat, that's because they get some bonus videos, they get some emojis. They are like the light. Thank you so much for your support. If you are a little member or you would like to become a member, there is a little button down below. You can click it. There's a little join button. You get some bonus stuff. But I want to take it a step further, and I want to post this video, which we're about to record together now, where you will be able to put some questions on there, and then I can just check it every single week. We can check in and we can see if there's any comments there. So if you have an issue or you get stuck with something, I'll be able to have a look at the comments there, sort by newest, and we can go through and answer some of your questions together. So even if you don't, like, rather than trying to answer something on email, which you're more than welcome to send me an email, sometimes a video, it's worth 1,000 words or 1,000 pictures, and a picture's worth 1,000 words. So we have a video is a great way to answer some questions here. So let's do that now. This is my members only video. How should I start this? Here's a bit of a sneak behind the curtain. Welcome to my members only video, where if you have a question, I'm going to answer it. So simply put it in the comments down below. I'm going to answer this. I'm going to check it every single weekly live stream. There should be a little link to that as well. If you've got a question there and you want a detailed answer, as soon as I see your comment, I will read it out on the live stream. We'll go through, we'll break it down, and we will answer it. This is just a way to say thank you for being part of the UAVfutures family. Thank you for being a member. Hopefully you're enjoying these bonus videos. But this one right here, regardless of when this was posted, I will check this week after week, and I will always answer those comments on here in a live stream video, so we can break it down and do a bit of a deep dive if you're stuck. Maybe you've got some comments that you want to talk about, or there's some topics, but this is just another way to say thanks, to help you guys and give you a bit of a shout out to say you are the lifeblood of the channel. Thank you so much for being here, being a member, and thank you for sharing this amazing message of FPV with people around the world and what we believe in UAVfutures here as well. So thank you. I will see you on the live stream, I guess, which should be linked probably in the description. All right, happy flying. Johnny DRC is saying thanks, Stu. So I will chop that little edit out later and I'll repost that up. Bobbles says, I had one guy at the dog park like it because his dog was getting a good workout running inside the dog area as everything flew past. Yeah, that's how I used to exercise my dog, old Charlie, when he was still had a lot of energy. He would chase the drones for sure. Nowadays it's a little bit different. Okay. Excuse me. This turned up the other day. Let me know what you think about this drone. So I actually wait till you see the price tag of this drone. This is a bit of a mystery drone right here, and the price tag is absolutely insane. So the Oxbot, the Octagonal Warrior in your palm, it looks very Emaxy if you had to if you ask me. But look at this. Look at this for a price. $100,000, $9,999. So they actually sent me an email, and they were like, "Hey Stu, would you like to test out our FPV drone?" I was like, "Okay, can you tell me a little bit more about it?" And I wanted to know some things about shipping and those sorts of things. This looks like a render right here. And it turns out that they said, oh, we don't actually sell this drone yet. And then I said to them, well, what do you want from my video? Like, if nobody can buy this product, what is the point of me making, what are you getting out of this video? And it was really nice and refreshing to see their response. And they said, hey, we would just like you to test it. Tell us what you think about it. Maybe show some people what our craft can do. And then in the future, I guess they wanted some brand awareness or something about this little craft. But yeah, that was a fine response. So this is in the post somewhere. Should hopefully be turning up. But I did find it interesting that they were like, yeah, we don't sell it yet. Okay. All right. It's your company. They can run it however they want. What do you think the actual price of this would be? It looks like we've got an 04 in here. I think it comes with, yeah, it does come with an 04. I'm going to guess my price. This will cost $399 with the 04 light in there. $349. We'll have to see. I don't hate it, but it's not filling me with extreme confidence, and I worry how this will handle in a crash as well. It's a lot of plastic on here, and probably a fair bit of weight as well. Because if it's comparable to, say, the Lightning V2, which is just stripped down like carbon fiber, like that's why I like the Lightning V2. This looks like it's got a lot of extra weight on there, so I don't think it will fly anywhere near as well as something like the Lightning V2. This wouldn't be my pick of craft, but we'll have to see. We'll see what it's like. It is a pusher quad. I was just checking if they put the props on correctly. So this one might. Interesting, like lens cover here too. Unless this is a render. Because I was looking at the props. That's, they're all spinning in. So this is correct. I don't know if this back. Yeah, the props are on the correct way. At least in this picture. Someone says get a beta 85. Let's have a look. Meteor 85. This is significantly different. Is this the one that you mean? Got some lava batteries in there. $109. Oh, is any of this in stock? Sold out. Okay. Is that an old version? 75s. Is all the rest out of stock? Yes. Okay. Oh, this looks cool. Ooh, the P1. Okay. I think I want to try this. This actually would be cool. I'm gonna send an email here in a little bit. I would like to fly that around. Because that would be much better than the Aquila 20. The Aquila 20 was this drone here. Which it flew better than the Protoss, but as a bit of a bind and fly, it wasn't my main choice. But this I'm kind of liking. And that's when you look at the price, $230 for a digital drone. Terrible. Does it come with ELRS? It must be. Hopefully it's built in. Where's it? Am I missing this here? Wheelbase motors, frames, propellers, canopy, the flight controller. Receiver. Oh, yeah, there we go. Thank you. Onboard serial. There we go. So I'm absolutely would like. That's what I'm going to send an email straight after this stream about that. Johnny D says you can't get anything in the US right now. I don't know what is stock levels actually like over there. If you're flying around, what is the drone sentiment like? It looks. I can't turn on the news without it looking like over there things are in complete chaos. I don't know what it's like for hobbyists. If you're just an everyday pilot and you want to shop around, maybe we should go have a look here. Let's go to like Pyro Drone. And here we go, race day quads. What do we got? What's shop new? That's not very exciting. Let's go high to low. Oh my gosh. Some iFlight things. Okay, there's got to be a better way. We're going to go. Here we go. Oh, it's an 03 air unit. 03 without the 03. Yeah, and a couple of things sold out. I mean, race day quads, maybe you get some different options. Just let me know if you're in the USA, what is it actually like when it comes to stock levels? The one thing that I was having a look at here, if we look at for DJI 04, and we have a look at the, where are we? Have a look at the light. It does look like this is still in stock in some places in the USA though, which is kind of cool. Pyro drone. Pre-built. What can I get that's a pre-built at Pyro drone? Here we go. Out of stock, in stock. Yeah, we've got a couple of different ones. So there's still some things there. If it's in stock, be ready to pay tariffs. But these are already in the country, so I don't think you'd have to pay tariffs on any of these. I bet you the tariff is included in the price. Oh, ELRS is sold out. Add your own receiver is still good. Okay, about $700. And that'd be US as well. Fly High FPV. Okay. Let's check them out. Shout out to them as well. Here we go. This is why you should be using the DJI FPV catalog. It just searches all your stores and tells you what's in stock, what's not. Here it is, Fly High. Okay. There you go. If you want some DJI Goggles 3, it looks like they are at Fly High FPV. Little bonus right there. Expensive though, but look, it is what it is. ACG says, I haven't had any problems here in the US, but I fly walks now and build my own. I also bought the HC0 box goggles on Friday that will be here Wednesday and a Hummingbird V4. Yeah, I can't wait to fly and get a box goggle style because I would love to recommend HD0 more. I think on paper, everything's good. But when I look at some box goggles in the past, if I get eye strain, I don't want to fly them. I mean, maybe I'm just an old man, but I really need to see how the actual focus goes when I'm looking at it. Some people talk about the EV800Ds. I hated those goggles. They gave me a headache. So I hope that's not the case, which is why that's like a long-term goal here, we'll do like a bit of a fundraiser, or, you know, that's why your super chats do make a difference. I would like to get a set of HD0 box goggles so we can review them and find out, are they worth it? Like, are they a great goggle? Are they worth the price? When we're looking at other prices like $800 for these goggles here, should you get them? And I really like the HDMI in on them as well, so they're going to be a good goggle for testing all the other goggles and other things. Rotorite charges tariffs. Any company in the USA is going to be charging tariffs. Anything, any product that you buy and you live in the USA, you're going to be paying tariffs, regardless of what some politicians are telling you. You are going to pay. The other countries are not paying. It is you, the US consumer, that is going to be paying tariffs. All right. Looking at the time, this was kind of the start. Does Get FPV? Get FPV. Oh, having a look here. That's this. Oh, Get FPV has some in stock as well, and race day quads. Alrighty. Let's have a look. In stock. There you go. That's a bit cheaper than Fly High, actually. I wonder what the issue was there. That's significantly different. Rory, thank you very much for that super chat right there. Very much appreciated. What is, there's like a little symbol underneath it. That's the goal anyway. We're at $10. I need to make a little list. We are $10 closer to getting a set of those box goggles. Where are we? Oh, it's a little, I can give it a little heart here on this one. There we go. Thank you very much. But that brings us to this part. If you are new to FPV, you might be saying, hey, Stu, can you just give me an overview of which goggles should I get in 2026? There's lots of different versions, whether you're going DJI HD0, Walk Snail, Ascent, Open IPC, the new P1 system. Which one should I get? Can you give us a bit of a breakdown on all of them? Yes, absolutely, I can. So if we head over here, I have built this specifically for you. This is my website, DIY FPV. And we've got a bunch up the top here. The only one that I'm missing is currently the P1 system, or the ArtLink system, which I will be adding soon, hopefully sometime later this week. And this right here is going to give you a visual comparison, and we're just going to break it down, some of the pros and cons, and also look at the prices of each one of these. So at least you can have a base understanding, a quick overview of each one. I'm probably going to spend about a minute on each system. So the first thing I want to talk about, let's have a talk about analog. And all of these were recorded, and the images that you're going to look at on the lowest quality system. So it only gets better. There are better options from this. I just use the bottom option as the basis for all of this. So the beauty about analog is it is the cheapest point of entry. You can get some really cheap box goggles, and it usually or typically has some lower latency. And the things that I don't like about it as well is, and it's also like open. You can get, you don't have to have one complete ecosystem for everything. So whether you get the same VTX or whether you get like a Foxy VTX and a Fat Shark pair of goggles, it's all going to work. It's all going to talk to each other. It's relatively simple. There is heaps of different VTX options, so you can choose the right VTX for your craft. Everything about analog is pretty amazing, except for the image right here. So this is the image that you can expect. I'm just reading here. Someone saying I have the Skyzone 04 Pros, and I definitely feel some eye strain after a bit, but I have no experience with other goggles. So yeah, I don't get any with the 04 Pros, but I do get eye strain with some of the older box goggles, like the EV800Ds. But yeah, some other things about analog. My nose is itchy. It's making me going to sneeze. Yeah, the image quality of analog, I would give it about a 5. It's not very good. It's not very clear. It handles breakup in kind of an interesting way. But look, it's an okay choice, and especially if you want to fly around whoops, it's not terrible. Moving over, the next thing we're going to talk about, this is HD0. And you can see the image quality is a little bit better. Some people refer to it as spicy analog. The big things that are impressive about this one is it has extremely low latency, relatively comparable to analog, which means if you're going to the races, you're really going to like this. They have a lot of the same advantages that analog has, but it's just a slightly better picture. And some of the cons or things that aren't great about this one is you're paying a lot of money. HD0 is a relatively expensive system. They have the most expensive goggles on the market if you want to get their top end goggles. And also, there is limited VTX options. And when it comes to range and penetration, HD0 doesn't perform as well as some of the other systems. And really, the big one for me, though, is why I don't fly HD0 is I'm not terribly latency sensitive, and I do prefer a better looking image. But yeah, here's a comparison between analog and HD0. Now, moving along, the next system we could probably talk about, this is going to be a walk snail. So you can straight off the bat see the step up in resolution. Some things I like about walk snail, they're kind of like the mid-level. They have a wide range of VTXs. You can do some very far long range things with this. They are a digital solution. All of these other ones as well, they all need to be in the same ecosystem, so you can't just mix and match goggles or anything. They have some budget goggles that you can get. They offer, I would say, maybe like an 8 out of 10 in terms of image quality. You are going to feel the latency more than the HD0 or the analog system, though. They're just, the image quality is fine. They're like a solid mid-range, like they sort of do everything, but they don't master anything and excel the best at any one thing. They're like just a solid, good choice. I'd give them like an 8 out of 10 when it comes to for just a general flying experience. They have some cheap goggles as well. So you can get a set of goggles of these for like $199. They've got some really small VTXs, a lot of different air units you can put them in. And yeah, that's about it. They're not suitable for racing though, because they don't have the low latency typically of the other HD0 and the analog systems. Now moving along, the next one we can talk about, and this is the Ascent system, which is actually made by the same company. The pros of this one, extremely cheap. This is like $150 for or like maybe a $200 set, but a set of goggles and a VTX is really, really cheap. It's really small form factor. And I think the image actually looks okay when it's still, but you're going to get a little bit of ghosting or stuttering when you're flying around. I don't get great penetration with it. It's a very new system. You don't know how far it's going to go. And when it comes to the VRX, I didn't like that. I didn't like the way that it is set up. So I don't really recommend the Ascent system, even though it is really, really cheap for what you get. It's not my favorite. It's not my recommendation. The biggest advantage of it is that it's cheap. And look, it does look okay if you have a look at a comparison here between a what's this, like a $200 versus $600. You would say, oh, this one looks significantly better, but it's not as reliable. I don't like flying with Ascent is sort of where I'm up to. They have a lot of work. The system might be able to do some stuff in the future, but it's not my recommendation. Next, we have DJI, which this image looks a little bit dark here, but it is what it is. I haven't altered any of these images. I think this is my favorite system to fly with. It's really expensive. Some of the pros about this, the image quality is good, the penetration's good, the latency I have no issues with. It's not as good as analog or HD0. It's just an all-round solid system. You only have 2 real VTX choices with the Pro and the Lite, so you can't put it in some tiny craft like Whoops. However, a big problem with this one is stock levels. If you're in the USA especially, trying to find stock with this can be a little bit difficult, and everything needs to stay in that DJI ecosystem as well. And it's not cheap. Like we had a look, it's like $700 for a pair of goggles here if you're going to fly around with DJI. This is my system of choice, and it's probably the gold standard. When it comes to image quality, I'd give this one a 10 out of 10. Moving along, the next one that we're going to look at is OpenIPC. OpenIPC has a wide range of quality, not issues, but variances. This is, I don't think, really recommended for anybody in normal FPV. This is more for like projects. You want to tinker, you want to try an open source project, which means this might be able to work with some other things in the future in different manufacturers. It is not ready for release yet. It is not recommended, but it is not a dead system. It has some people really pushing and working and trying to make something amazing for the community. It has a bit of an image, like a very orangey image in terms of all the ones that I've ever flown. Some of the things, the pros about it, the price, it's open source, and the things that I don't like about it, and the biggest one is just reliability. I can't fly this system, and it has like some issues with breakup, or like if the image loses for like a second or two and then comes back, that's no good. I'm going to crash my drone in that time. So I just do not have reliability when I'm flying around with open IPC. It may be better now, but as it currently stands, it wouldn't be my recommendation either. This is more for people who want to try an interesting project. They like to tinker with all the, you can really get in and do some of your own work and tailor the system to perform in like whatever way specifically suits you. But it's not comparable to, say, DJI or any of that sort of stuff. And then finally, we actually have one which isn't here at the moment, but it is the P1, which is actually, where are we? This system here. This goggle here, which you can get as just the VTX and this goggle. And this is from Beta FPV. And this is actually my recommendation for cheap, getting into the hobby, like some cheap comparison. I'm going to put a little picture up here as well. It looks similar to Ascent. It has about the same amount of latency as well. It is almost identical when it comes to price, but it was just a much more reliable system when it comes to flying. The biggest problem with this new P1 system, which you're going to hear me talk about, is there is no other way to get that image on a headset other than using the one that comes from Beta FPV. So you have to use this headset, and frankly, that is not a good headset. I don't like flying around with that. So all the other goggles have great headsets. The P1 probably has the worst headset. That's just it's how it is currently. We don't know what's going to be in the future, but there is a lot of different comparisons, and there is no perfect goggle. And remember, it's not about having the best gear. It's about having the best time. And it's good to have all these different options. So if I put that other option up here, what's that? We've got 7 solid choices that somebody could say, hey, I'm flying with this system. We used to only have analog, and now we've got 7 real competitors. It's, you know, low cost, low latency, high cost, low latency, better image, mid-range on everything, good image, decent latency, good VTX options, but, you know, getting more expensive. Latency, reliability issues, good image, good price. And for DJI, we've got high price, high quality image, high penetration, high range, open IPC. We have low price, open source community, unreliable link, and yeah, an average image. And the P1 has a good image, great price, okay latency, but terrible headset to go with it. So not many hardware options to go with it. Johnny DRC says, I had the Skyzone 04X Pro with the Walk Snail module. Yep, that's how I fly with HD0 using the Skyzone 04 Pros, but I have to deep dive into the latency, which people have been talking about. Ronnie says, HD0 for whoops, DJI 04 for my 2-inch and bigger quads. Great choice, great choice. And Actual says, I'd love to get into DJI, but dollar walk snail would probably be good enough for me. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to point out too. There is no best system. All of these have strengths and weaknesses that one of the other systems is going to do something better. All of these systems beat each other at something. Even if you look at like Ascent and the P1, well, the Ascent has a dedicated VRX now, even though I don't like it. That's still a better option than being stuck with the base goggles. So there is no system on here that is best at everything. If there was a system that offered insane visuals, insane price, insane latency, and great compatibility with VRX and also headset options, and opened up different VTX options for whoops all the way up to high and long range, that'd be it. No one would buy anything else, but that doesn't exist. So if you're asking yourself what is the best way to buy a set of goggles is, what type of flying do I want to do? Am I flying around whoops? Am I flying around long range? Am I going to be going to the races? Do I care about image quality? And am I going to be freestyling through the trees? Do I care about comfort and want a quality set of goggles? These are all the questions that you need to ask yourself. Buy what you can, fly what you have. That's some good advice. Looking at Walk Snail Moonlight. DJI is just a bit too expensive and locked down. Just crossing my fingers as a new board for the Goggle X compatibility. Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever hear anything about that. We'll have to see. I did get some interesting emails from CADX again, just recently actually, which was, it looks exciting. Hopefully have some new products to review soon without saying too much. Alrighty, thank you very much. EUC saying whoops for life. Excuse me. I feel like I'm losing my voice. And just got it back. So, yeah, I think, what's next here? It's you guys. I would like to say, and I truly mean this, a bit of a shift from FPV. Thanks for being here. Did you know that you are valued, you are cared about, you are worth it? Yeah, no, listen, let's stop those thoughts in your head that say you can't be talking. I am. Thank you for being here. You are seen, you are heard, you are not alone, and you are valued. You have value. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm proud of you. Stu's not talking to me. I am. All right. I think I'm just about to end the stream right here, guys. So if you've got any final questions, throw them in the chat right now. Now's your time. And then I need to write some emails. I want to go check out that beta FPV with the P1 in there. I've got to do a little bit of editing as well straight after this. I want to put that members video up there. Shout out to all my members. If today you're watching this and you're like, Stu, I really like what you stand for and spreading FPV around the world with this positive energy. If you would like to become a member, that little join button should be down below. It makes a huge difference. There's some bonus videos, you get some emojis, and also, not only do you get to feel good, you help share this message of FPV with other pilots around there. Someone's saying in walk snails not locked down. Yeah, walk snail is also locked down in its own ecosystem. You probably have a little bit more choice when it comes to walk snail though. You have a VRX, you have 2 sets of goggles, and you have more VTXs than any other vendor out there. What do we got? We've got like the GT, the GT2 or V2 or something that's releasing soon. You've got the Pro VTX, you've got the Mini, you have the 1S board as well. So you do have a lot of different options when it comes to walks now. The most important part of an FPV stream is not the U art, it's the U part. I do like that there, Happy RC Flyer. It was raining here before Canon, but we'll have to see. I don't think anti-gravity is going to enter the market for FPV pilots. The goggles are comfortable. They are great goggles. We'll just have to see. I don't know if our market is big enough. All right. On that, guys, just remember that you're worth it, and I'm proud of you, and you have value. Thank you for being here. You are not alone. All right. Happy flying. Can I just say how good this song is? Like, it's silenced on my end, but I don't get to listen to this song. That's just for you guys. I'm going to have to, maybe I'll listen to the end of one of my streams. It's stuck in my head. Whenever I do hear it, though. It just seems so synonymous with my stream. All right, happy flying.